Hey guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. Hope you're having a good day today. I'm a little bit sunburned. It's nice weather here where I live, springtime in the United States, and my face felt a little bit without some sunscreen this week. We sure appreciate the comments that you make on our video channel, even the ones that are not necessarily meant to be serious. We even like a good laugh sometimes. We are able to laugh at ourselves. Sometimes I've made some comments that in retrospect I'm like, wow, that was not very intuitive or well thought out. So I appreciate you all calling us out when we make stupid comments. And I appreciate you commenting when we said something that was profound that we didn't realize. I was thinking about the stock market today and thinking about purchasing stocks. You know, in general, it's always great to buy low and sell high. The challenge can be to figure out which stocks that are currently low are going to be going high. And sometimes it's just good to get on a train that's rising and catch it while it's still rising. And again, that's hard to know if it still has a chance to keep rising. I've been thinking about different stocks that I want to purchase. I did purchase some more solar stocks today. Solar took a little hit, and certainly medical stocks are down. I'm very interested in medical stocks just based on my profession, but quite honestly, I'm a little overweighted on medical stocks, so I'm always looking for other things that I can purchase. Today I want to talk to you about Freeport McMoRan. I did a video about that a few weeks ago when the stock price was low 30s, I believe. It's upper 30s now. And let's just talk about where this stock may be going and why it is something that you might still be interested in, even though it's made a huge run over the last year. If you're not familiar with Freeport McMoRan, I just say it McMoRan, but it's actually McMoRan, I believe. Anyway, if you're not familiar with them, they are a mining company. Their three principal products are copper, that's the big one, gold, and molybdenum. But copper is the money train there. They have several mines within the United States. They also have mines within South America and in Indonesia. So why should you think about investing in this company, which has made a huge run in its stock price over the last 12 months? In fact, let me show you that. So here's the 12-month stock price chart for Freeport McMoRan. The ticker symbol is FCX, by the way. If you were lucky enough to have purchased it way back in May of 2020, you could have gotten it for as cheap as about $8 a share. I want to say I've seen in there even somewhere in the sixes as a low. Now, obviously it has been making a steady climb since then, and it continues to make a steady climb with some peaks and valleys now. Those valleys then are great times to dip into the stock. Obviously it's at its high, which is not necessarily the best time to buy, but I would anticipate that there will be another dip here. But either way, the stock price just keeps going up. I personally think it's going to continue to make this run for a while. How long is a while? At least over the next year. And quite honestly, I think that looking out into 2025, this company continues to produce revenues at record rates. The question will be whether they can keep their free cash flow also at record rates as they also reinvest into their company. So let's just talk about how Freeport McMoRan is doing. What else is copper being put into or used for? Obviously, I talked about infrastructure a little bit. How about railways, electrical grids, water supply, healthcare, construction? How about in the food chain? Copper is one of those nutrients that's necessary for plants to grow. So obviously some fertilizer uses for copper. How about refrigeration systems, clean water? How about medical devices such as hearing and visual aids, diagnostic devices like EEGs that they hook up to your head? How about surgical robots? Those are becoming quite popular now. Implants, 3D printing. They go into ventilator components. We've heard a lot about ventilators, certainly in the news in the last year. It goes into manufacturing. It goes into defense and aerospace. We already mentioned automotive. How about smartphones, computers and laptops, artificial intelligence, renewable energy? There are just so many uses for copper, and as the economy continues to ramp up, this metal is going to be getting used more and more and more. In fact, let me show you a graphic about that. This is a graphic that I showed within the last video that I did, and just right here I want to point this out. By 2025, it's expected that the U.S. will be able to refine 1.7 metric tons of copper. Well, that will barely keep up with the global electric vehicle and renewable energy demand, not to mention all of the other uses for copper that I just mentioned. So electric vehicles are going to use 4 times more copper than internal combustion engines, according to this graphic. And when it comes to renewable energy, it's 4 to 5 times more copper than energy that is produced using fossil fuel. Now, this is an interesting graphic. This comes from Freeport McMoRan's presentation that they made when they did the fourth quarter results for 2020. And they were talking about prices of copper and how that affects their EBITDA and their operating cash flow. Back then, they were talking about prices at $3.50, which is where the price was hovering, $3.75, and $4. Now, just a few months later, the price of copper continues to soar. Today, it's around $4.50 per pound. So they have revised these numbers here. Now they're operating off of a low of $4 per pound. $4.50 is where it's at, and looking at even up to $5 per pound. And we see how their EBITDA increases as well as their operating cash flow as the price of copper continues to go up. The price of copper is about 90% more than it was this time last year. Now, the nice thing about this for this company is that as the copper prices rise, it doesn't necessarily increase their cost of revenue. So we just see their cash flow and their EBITDA increasing while their expenditures are remaining relatively the same. In fact, here's what they're looking at for their estimates for expenditures, capital expenditures. They're actually going up just a little bit for 2021 to $2.3 billion from $2 billion, and in 2022 they anticipate that going down just a little bit to $2.2 billion. So their capital expenditures are staying relatively the same. What's that going to do? That's going to generate a lot of cash for this company. Just look at the difference here between the second quarter of 2020 and the first quarter of 2021 when it comes to consolidated cash. I think this company is not done making its run. Now, the price of copper may stabilize, the price of copper may decrease. We never know with those things. But even if the price of copper does go down, their demand for this product is still going to go up over the next few years. We already talked about some of those things, electric vehicles, renewable energy. It's just going to continue is how I see it. So I like this company as a play other than all of the medical stocks and technology stocks that I have. They do provide a small little dividend. It's less than 1%, but it is a dividend there. Hopefully they can grow that over time as all of this cash flow continues to increase. Other mining companies that I have, MP Materials, I like that one as well. That one is mining rare earth metals out of Nevada, and that certainly will be getting used a lot in the next few years. And I also own a Brazilian company, Vale, another mining company there, and that one also pays a dividend. This can be a stock for a young person to think about investing in. Obviously, this would be one that they could hold for quite a while and appreciate a nice share increase when they are much older. One way to invest in these types of things is in a Roth IRA. If your young person has any type of employment, now it can't be just employment from you for mowing the grass and you pay them $10, but if they are doing other employment, they've started their own grass mowing and they're getting paid by other people, or my son, he is into doing some trading card business, anything that you're generating some revenue from, a young person can invest that into a Roth IRA. The great thing about that is you can always take the money back out of the Roth IRA at any time. They have to leave the earnings in unless they want to pay a penalty, but the principal that they contributed can be taken out at any time. So it's a little bit like a savings account. You just can't take out the interest. So this could be a great stock to hold in a Roth IRA. And even if it only goes up just a little bit and they sell it, they don't have to pay any taxes on it. If it goes up a lot later, obviously it will have made huge gains and they don't owe any taxes on it. So a great thing for a young person to get involved in. All right, that's going to wrap it up for Freeport McMoRan. I am not a financial advisor, so do your own investigation into this company, but I like it, and it's always fun to see my stock price continue to climb. It's been a slow climb, but still it's climbing, and that's always a nice thing. Until next time, enjoy your investing.